From the trunk of a towering elder to a struggling sapling in the shadows, a silent gift flows. Life. Think of that elder not merely as a tree, but as a guardian, a keeper of ancient wisdom, and a nurturing force watching over the entire forest. In a world that often feels divided, rushed, and disconnected, it's comforting to know that somewhere, in the quiet, nature still remembers how to care for its own. Step into the cool hush of a forest, and you might assume the only communication taking place is the rustling of leaves or the chirp of a squirrel in a distant branch. After all, trees don't talk, or do they? Well, not in the way we do. They don't use sound waves or vocal cords. But as science is revealing, trees do communicate. They converse in ways that are subtle, clever, and remarkably effective. We've already explored their underground networks, but tonight we journey above the soil, where trees have another, more surprising method of talking. Yes, trees speak on the breeze. When a caterpillar or beetle begins munching on a tree's leaves, the tree doesn't just accept its fate. Instead, it sends out chemical distress signals, airborne messages that travel through the forest. These volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, can drift across dozens of meters, warning neighboring trees of the danger. Upon receiving this signal, nearby trees prepare for attack. They start producing defensive chemicals, compounds that make their leaves taste bad or even toxic to the invaders. It's a form of preemptive defense, a chemical warning system triggered by one tree but protecting many. Incredible, right? But it gets better. These chemical messages are not random, they're tailored. A tree being attacked by a specific insect will release a particular blend of VOCs designed to counter that insect's biology. It's a bit like sending an emergency broadcast with details specific to the threat. Attention, caterpillar attack. Deploy bitter-tasting compounds. Some trees go even further. They call for help. That's right, they summon reinforcements. The VOCs released can attract the natural enemies of the attacking insect. For example, if aphids are feasting on a tree, the tree might release a scent that attracts ladybugs, the aphids' predators. It's not just defense, it's strategy. This form of communication works across species too. Plants of entirely different kinds can respond to one another's VOCs. This interspecies eavesdropping turns forests into responsive, adaptive ecosystems where every plant is listening and talking in its own way. What's even more fascinating is that these signals are dynamic. A tree doesn't always respond the same way. Its response depends on the context, how much damage it's taken, how many neighbors are nearby, the time of year, and even previous experiences. Yes, trees have something akin to memory. If a tree has survived an insect attack before, it may react faster or stronger the next time it encounters the same threat. This isn't memory as we know it, but it's a biochemical learning process that improves the tree's chances of survival. A form of biological recall. Let's pause here. Take a deep breath. The air you just inhaled may contain more than oxygen and the scent of pine. It may carry messages, stories of attack, resistance, and survival, drifting invisibly between branches. The forest isn't just growing, it's thinking. Slowly, silently, strategically. And humans are only just beginning to understand this language. Scientists are now studying the specific compounds trees emit, how other plants interpret them, and what it means for agriculture, forestry, and climate science. At Infinity Beyond, we marvel at the stars, but the intelligence found in forests is no less cosmic. Here on Earth, trees offer a form of slow wisdom, a dialogue that spans days instead of minutes, but one that is no less real. Perhaps we were too busy to notice before. These discoveries don't just change how we view trees, they change how we view life. Intelligence may not require a brain. Communication doesn't need words, and defense doesn't need violence. The forest's language is cooperation and response, spoken through chemistry and connection. And what about city trees? Are they part of this network too? The answer is partly. Urban trees can still send chemical signals, but their connections are often disrupted. Limited space, concrete barriers, and fragmented root systems mean that city trees are often cut off from the forest internet. It's like being online with poor reception. They're still talking, but the network is weaker. That's why urban reforestation and green corridors are so important. They don't just bring beauty or shade, they restore relationships. They reconnect living beings in a web of support that benefits everything from soil microbes to human health. So what can we take from all this? We've spent centuries seeing trees as static, silent, and solitary. But the truth is far more vibrant. Trees are dynamic participants in a living, breathing, responsive ecosystem. They share, they defend, they remember, and above all, they communicate. So the next time you hear the wind rustling through leaves, ask yourself, what might the trees be saying? Listen closer. The forest is never truly silent.